Hello everybody, this is Tavia, obviously my first video, and Thanos has done a few others, namely Illidan and Amberlash, and this is my turn, I guess. This is my favorite one out of all the ones we've got so far. Her name is Tamuura. I'm not sure how you'd pronounce that, there's a couple of extra U's in the end of that. But I really like the Draenei a lot. There was a lot of detail. I mean, there's a lot of detail in like the shoulder pads. Her hair is almost individual, and I mean, she's got like stockings and stuff, and you can really see the stockings. And I'm not sure if this is actually an outfit you can get in WoW or not, but it would be really neat if you could. Let me turn her around, and you can see, you know, a ton more detail on it. I believe she's a mage. And so, you know, mages always tend to seem to have a lot of detail and stuff on their armor. And take a look at her spell blade, which is really neat. Her hand is actually one piece, and this back piece actually comes off. It actually has two pieces to be able to get it on there in her hand. So I thought that was a really neat touch. So, you know, there's no shoving it in her hand and accidentally breaking something. A little history on the Draenei. It's, from what I understand, they used to be Eridar, and there was 3 leaders. Valen killed Jaden, and another one that I can never remember the name of. But, from my understanding, Sargeras came to the 3 of them and did the age-old line of, you know, I will give you a lot of power and if you'll just obey me. Well, it sounded like a good idea, but Valen is kind of a shaman in his own right, and he had a vision of sorts, and basically that showed the 3 of them, they were happy, until he looks down and sees himself, and he's this humongous red demon, and it frightened him enough that he realized this is what was going to happen. And so he took a small group of people that believed in him, and fled. And I believe they fled to several different planets, with Kil'jaeden and Sargeras and the other following them. And eventually they became known as the Draenei, which I believe in their tongue means exiled ones. So they eventually fled Argus, you know, long line of there, and they eventually found themselves on this unnamed planet where the orcs lived, with, they eventually named Draenor. Well, they crash landed for the first time on this planet, and for several thousand years, the orcs didn't know that's where they came from. The ship, the Naru ship that they fled on, is actually this white mountain in Nagrand called Oshigan. Believe it or not. I've actually been inside, and there's a Naru inside there, which is kind of neat. I don't remember if he talks to you or not. It's been a while. But, through all of that, unfortunately, Kil'jaeden finds him again, and instead of just flat out trying to destroy them, which had failed, he goes through the orcs. Believe it or not, the orcs started off as a peaceful race, tribal and shamanistic, a lot like the Tauren. And, through Kil'jaeden and the most powerful shaman they had, Ner'zhul, through the 2 of them, they became more of a warlike race, and eventually began blaming the Draenei for everything. And so they, you know, attacked them, the big war, and you know, lots of people died, all of that stuff. And eventually the Draenei had to flee again. Well, this time they stole a ship, the Exodar, ironically enough, and again crash landed on a planet. And here we are in Azeroth. So, you know, they like crashing on things. So back to the figure. She is the mage, the Draenei Mage, Tamuura. I just love the detail on these figures. You can tell she's got gloves, brown gloves, and apparently very sharp nails. One of the things about these figures is they're very realistic, but, you know, it's very not movable at all. You have to be careful not to break her fingers off, but You know, it's pretty sturdy. Like I said, you know, the sword is a different piece. She's not very poseable. I'm not sure if... No, she doesn't really have any poseable bits or anything. This top piece, I'm not sure if it's part of her pauldrons or if it was what, but, you know, it moves but not movable. Her hair, I mean, it's all solid plastic, really. The only thing that can come off, really, is her tail. It was actually, yeah, stuck in there pretty good. But, you know, and then she's got this big hole in her butt. So, you know, she came with it off, so, but, it's a pretty thick tail. But, it seems like in Warcraft, in the game, the tail seems a lot smaller than it is. But, I thought that was really a neat effect because, I mean, it really shows her in action, you know. So, again, she's one of my favorite characters. I don't know if she's in the game or not. I have yet to find her. But there is the Draenei. I think she's awesome. So, I guess that concludes this video. So, this is Tavia. Y'all have fun.